Hello and welcome to MT4MH, Metabolic Therapy for Mental Health, where we spread love and we share our ketogenic lifestyle. Today I'm going to do a brief video, quickly take you through how I do my food. Now you'll find from getting to know me that I do a HFBO, it's high-fat beef only. My kid, her fat is lower, she eats a whole range of plants and other things. So we have some critical items here. I have 3 scales out. We've collected them over the years from all the tracking that we've done. This one is nice and big. I have a plate here. I guess somebody moved it. So plate fits really nicely on it. This one does grams, but not tenths of a gram. So if you're looking for accuracy like we want with our kid, then we use these other scales here. This next one up, plate also fits nicely on it. You can see the display. This one will do tenths of a gram. However, it shuts off very quickly. And we loathe it because you'll be you're doing food, you're tracking, right? You're weighing. And then Samantha comes in and 2 seconds later, you're not done weighing yet and it's shut off. Now you got to take all the food off, start all over. Okay, so that led me to get this one, which I really like, another tenth of a gram scale. However, when you put a plate on it, it either doesn't fit and falls off, or it fits but it covers the display and then you can't see what you're weighing. But if you're doing a bowl or something, it's perfect. So I like that one too. So for today, I'm going to be using this guy here. So I'm going to do another video in the future for how to use chronometer to track your food. It seems like a lot of people out there need help. Macros, how do you figure out what fat percentage? I see people in carnivore, in lion diet, and they're not doing well. And they say, what do I do? And people say, up your fat. And people are like, well, how do I up my fat? How do I know what I'm eating? How do I know how much fat I'm eating? So we're going to do chronometer in the future. This vacuum bag I'm opening up, this is beef fat that I got from the butcher. Now, we do avoid plastics in this house, but we are not dogmatic about it. And I like to say that we use perfection to guide us. We try to be perfect, but we're not perfect. And we're just gonna do the best that we can. So when a sale comes up at the store and I buy literally 40 to 50 pounds of beef fat, it's like half a year's worth of beef fat, what am I supposed to do with it? How do I store it? There's no glass containers that I know of. So we use vacuum bags. It's convenient for storage. It's also good for using in the sous vide. That's one of my 2 main cooking methods is sous vide. The other way is just cast iron. This is a really nice Griswold pan that I got down the street at a flea market. I want to say I paid $1 for it. And from looking at it, it's probably from the 60s. So here I have beef fat. My diet's like super simple most of the time. It's beef fat and it's some kind of beef meat. And I've seen people online saying, what is beef fat? Where do I get it? You know, they don't even know what it looks like, what it is. So I didn't know that either. I started getting it from the butcher. These are nice big chunks. Now these came off of prime rib. These were trimmed off the prime rib before they put the prime ribs out for the sale. All right. So I have a bowl with some in it already from the other day. One of the things I found about beef fat is that it stays fresh for a really long time. It will not go bad quickly. Turn my scale on, put the bowl on. Now what I did was I put the scale on and put the bowl on after, so now it's weighing the bowl. So you have to tare it. Otherwise, you could put the bowl on, shut it off. Shut it up, come on. I hate these things that have not a real button on them. Anyway, you could put the bowl on first, then turn the scale on. It won't weigh the item on there. So, other items. I have a calculator for doing quick math. I try to avoid my phone. I don't want to be on my phone as much as possible. I also have pads and pens. So for today, I'm having 200 grams of suet. Let's see what that looks like. Well, that's already 200 there. So I'm going to try to make it as perfect as I can. Actually, this is going to be extra. That one, those 2. 244 is too much. I wanted to use the older ones first though, right? Yeah, so let's put those in first. So I'm using the older food that was in the bowl that's been from a day or two ago. I'm gonna use that first. There we go. Okay, so now I'm at 181.1. I'm just gonna cut off a piece, see if I can get as close to 200 as possible. I'm not looking for perfection. If it's, I would say if it's 198 or if it's 202. I normally wouldn't go low because I want to eat every little bit I can. 202. So now I'm gonna write this down for later. And I will be putting this into chronometer, most likely on the computer, not on my phone. So there's 202 grams of beef fat. I already have some ground beef weighed out. So the way my numbers are for today, it's 195 grams of 80-20 ground beef. Everybody knows what that is. I didn't select the 195. My wife was making something for my daughter today, and she said, hey, here's what I got left. Can you use it? So here's how I figured that out. I went to chronometer. I weighed the meat first. I put in 195 grams, and then I put in enough fat, and I looked at the macros, and I saw once I got to 90%, what are my total calories? I was at 2,400 total calories. Right now, my maintenance is probably about 2,800. Maintenance calories are the amount of calories you eat every day, and you won't lose or you won't gain. It varies for everybody, and it's going to change over time, and then depending on how active you are, I'm anywhere from 25 to 28 probably. And I try to vary my calories up and down. I did a 4-day fast, and then I did 3 days of low maintenance, and then I did a refeed on purpose. So my low maintenance was like 2,200 for a couple days, and then yesterday I ate about 3,000 because I'm losing weight now as I go under. I don't want to lose weight every day, and it worked out well. I woke up today, I was the same exact weight as yesterday. So at 2,400, I know I'm good. My plan for the day would be under maintenance. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm not actually cooking the food now, but the next thing I would do is I just wanna take this big slab of fat. I'm gonna sear all the sides so it's mostly stays raw on the inside. And then as it's cooked, I cut it into pieces, I shut the pan off, I throw it back in, it stays warm. The ground beef, this is fresh ground beef. I'm gonna use my hands, press it into a patty. I'm gonna sear this. Again, keeping it pretty rare. I'm a little more cautious with the ground beef, but I keep it pretty rare. That's how I like it. And then the other item I have is bone marrow. This is not really a good example of bone marrow because this is melted. It's essentially tallow, but there are some chunks of marrow in there. So you can go to the butcher and you can get a bone and you can have them canoe cut it. They cut it lengthwise, and it literally will look like 2 little canoes. Roasted in the oven, I do 350. I put it in as it's preheating. I do 350 for 10 minutes. If it's a full bone, flip it over another 10 minutes. Shut the oven off, let it cool for a few, and then you can scoop the marrow out. It's really one of my favorite things. It's, I think, almost entirely fat, and I love it. This one, I was just playing around, and I left it in there for a long time, melted it down, and now it's like tallow, so I'm gonna add 25 grams of this. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll use the lid. Now, glass bowl, plastic lid, not dogmatic about it. My food is gonna touch the plastic before it goes in the pan. I'm doing the best that I can. I don't have to have it that way. There's other ways I could weigh the bowl, scoop it out, wait until it's 25 less, put it in the pan. So I think for today, I think that's gonna be it. You guys can see how I kind of do things. It's not the same every day. What I really like to do, what's really a high success for me, is making a couple of bowls ahead of time where I'm not weighing it out as I eat. Because if I'm really hungry, I may eat more than I should, which can be detrimental. I try to keep it at 90-10, and I try to have a calorie goal for certain days. But also, I might just forget. I might just be sitting here and I have this pile, which is for tomorrow, my extra, and I might be cutting and cooking as I'm going, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, I just ate that whole big chunk of fat, and you'd be surprised because what you'll learn in future videos is that calories per gram, if you have 1 gram of a piece of food, fat is double protein and carbs. So if you eat a big thing of fat, you just had a bunch of extra calories, it's very easy to slip up. So I like to have a bowl that I bring up and be like, hey, this is my food for the day. Keeps it simple and easy. Everything weighed and tracked ahead of time. I could say on Sunday, I could do 3 or 4 bowls. So I got 4 days of the week. I could even do 5, especially with fat. It's not going to go bad. I can do 5 days of food. I can have it all pre-tracked in Chronometer. I can do it all in one day in, like, say, a half hour. All my food for the week is weighed, tracked, all in Chronometer. Super simple, super easy. Come up, have my bowl when I'm ready to eat, and that's that. So, we're sending out love. We are MT4MH signing off. Please like our videos. Please subscribe to receive future content. And with that, we're going to start saying, fix yourself with fat. Fix yourself with fat.